see dope people. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dope People. I am your host, Hayden Green, Brooklyn's favorite polymath. And on this show, I simply interview people who I think are dope. And today, I have a really dope person, and you're going to really enjoy this interview. But those of you who might not be familiar with the term dope from the 1980s and stuff like that, it really refers to something amazing, something that you really enjoy, or something that's really spectacular. And so that's dope is a really favorite phrase of mine. So I'm talking to people who I think are amazing. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Derric Heck. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Mr. Derric Heck. Derric, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Hayden? Good to see you.
Life is good. Life is good. I noticed you got a lot of purple going on in the shot today. I'm not gonna comment on the reason why you probably did that, but I'm gonna leave you be.
No, it's always there. No change. If we did this tomorrow, it'd be the same view. They're always looking over my shoulder. So, yeah.
Love it. I love it. Derric is part of the illustrious Omega Psi Phi fraternity, but I still call him a friend anyway.
I appreciate that.
So, Derric, I like to get a litmus test of how people are thinking, how my guests are thinking about this term dope. And I want to know from you, who is somebody that you know or have met that you consider the dopest person that you've ever, that's in your circle?
Okay, so I really agonize over this. One, because I've been really gifted with a lot of people who have poured into me, or I've had the pleasure of crossing paths with some really intriguing people who are doing dope things, and so I had a list of people, and I kept coming back to. I'm not sure if this is because of nostalgia or because of our growing relationship as we both age, but I'm landing on my father today as the dopest person that I know. And I went through, art collectors, chemists, politicians, university leaders, just a lot of people, and I kept landing on my dad. I thought, I know him well, and as he just turned 86 years old, we have a lot of time to have conversations, and I hear him reflect, and so he is the dopest person. And it really came down between my dad and my mom. And I don't know if it sounds cliche or not, but they are two very dope people, in part because of the things that they've done, but a lot in part because of the things that they have endured. And I think knowing the whole of a person has been the way that I define dopeness, not the thing that's brilliant that people often see, but the things that they might toil over late at night or in their private moments, and having had a chance to hear some of those reflections has made them more dope in my mind. So it's but I'll keep it with my dad today. But
That makes perfect sense. And what's your father's name?
My father name is William Heck. We call him Billy Boy, but he's William Heck Jr.
And the really interesting thing about that is, as we get older, we tend to give more credence to our parents because we understand their struggle a little bit more as adults, right? Like when we're younger, we're like, you're bugging me about this. Oh, why do you do things that way? But as we start to get into that adult sphere, it is very obvious what our parents did. And what's even more obvious is how they were able to achieve certain things with less than we have, because we like to be able to leave the generation coming behind us as better off than what we were able to experience. So yeah, I definitely can see how getting older makes you appreciate your parents more.
Yes, it has. Yes, for all those reasons and many more. But yeah.
Well, Derric, I want to tell you why I think that you're dope. I have. So we belong to a group of Black intellectuals, and I really enjoy speaking to everybody in that group. But I especially enjoy speaking with you because, you mentioned the thing about pouring into people. I believe that you are one of those people who are a grand connector and somebody who is really active about making sure that all aspects of your life have some sort of through thread, so that if there is somebody who's coming into your life at this point, that they should know all of the other people and all of the other things that you experience in the rest of your life. And that plays out with your entrepreneurial spirit, with like, I'll grab this person and do this for me, I'll grab that person to do that for me, or the work that you've done with art, and just really reaching out your tendrils to really make sure that, what was it, Cleveland? Is it Cleveland, the art museum that you were working with?
Oh, I've worked with, it was in Pittsburgh. Worked with,
Pittsburgh,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, and I just enjoy that spirit about you. It's a selfless aspect that not a lot of people have, because you've done a lot of dope things, right? And I think that, being able to pull people along as you're moving along is something that is hard to do, because we've been always told, move in silence, right? And when you let people know what you're doing, they kind of interrupt your plans, and you're quite the opposite. You're on the other end of the spectrum, and for me, I think that's dope.
Wow. I didn't know what you were going to say. I knew the format and you shared it with me via email, but I didn't realize what you were going to talk about. But there's this idea, and it may, I think tie into why I think my father is dope. My dad is an industrial engineer, an educator. He's a sculptor. He's a wood sculptor, wood artist. And from things, even from the practical, he made the shoebox that we kept our shoes in when we were little. He made things that go on the desk, the whole pencil. He's made these sculptures that sit in our living room today, at my parents' home. But he's also one of the at 86, the way he describes my mother as his partner, I think
Hmm.
is very forward for a man of the generation. The way that he tears up when he has a conversation about his family. I think seeing the strength of him and the vulnerability of him and the complexity of who he is as an educator, as an investor himself, as an entrepreneur himself. The complexity of a person has made room for me to be complex, to be transparent. And a lot of it, I think it makes you accountable to people. You can move in silence. And I think there are times where you have to go into your cocoon and you have to settle yourself and clear your mind from the noise around you. But then there are the right times and the right people with whom to share those dreams, those thoughts, those concerns, those aspirations, so that you can become accountable,
Hmm.
and also so that you know that you're not in these things alone. You never know that most people around you are going through something very similar, and you can glean so many insights just by sharing and get some encouragement and motivation and other ideas about how to move forward. And so, this idea about pouring into people, I really am running at a current pace. I will always say this because of the momentum of my parents and momentum of their parents, and I get to run a little bit faster. I get to dream a little bit higher, think a little bit more broadly and more freely because of them. And part of what I am hoping to do is to foster that kind of attitude in other people, bring people together so that they see that the load isn't as heavy. And it could be more fun if we did this stuff together. I will say, and this may go on my tombstone one day, I like to say that we can do monumental things moment by moment. And I really hope that that moment by moment also will add to the fact that there will be people that we didn't know that could be on our team, people that didn't know that be a part of our story, people that didn't know that they were part of our puzzle piece. And so I'm hoping that this moment to moment and person by person is the way that my life will unfold. It has thus far, and I look forward to seeing how that manifests itself in more ways. Yeah.
I love that we can do monumental things moment by moment. And if I pass before you, I'm putting that on my tombstone, so I'm stealing it.
Cite me or fight me. You know I'm in the academic space, so I would say cite me or fight me.
All
Or
right,
I'll
well,
come by
Derrick, I thank you. Right, and the small cast underneath.
and
Thank Thank you so much. I think that that is absolutely dope. But we're gonna take a break right now, and when I come back, I want to hear what dope thing you were doing or have done that makes you a dope person. So stay tuned. And we're
Okay.
back with Dope People. I am your host, Hayden Green. Today, my guest is Derric Heck, and he's an amazing person. So I cannot wait to hear what he chooses along the long list of things, of the dope things that he has done to say today. Now, Derric, I want to know something that you do or have done that makes you dope. Now, it could be one time where you connected to people and got their piece into the Pittsburgh Art Museum, or it could be something that you do on a regular basis. So, what do you do that makes you dope, Derric?
I I like to think that my ability or maybe propensity to discuss difficult topics makes me dope. Um, I often, if I could unlock people's connection to their potential and have them see just how great they are, that would be what I would love to be as a superpower. I think people don't see themselves often as valuable as they are, and I would love to unlock that. So one thing that I do is I study race. I study that all the time. I study it historically, globally. I've had some chances to do that from East Africa to different places in Europe and places in the United States. And my current project is that I'm working with some teachers in the South who have been a part of a particular socio-political climate where there's been some highly publicized deaths at the hand of former law enforcement officials. And I'm interviewing teachers. I'm interviewing those teachers in those spaces, talking about what it means to teach in the wake of that moment. Um,
Mm,
and part of what I'm doing is I'm understanding a particular group of teachers, Black teachers who are either the only or one of the few Black teachers in their space. And a lot of what I'm talking about and interviewing them about is about not only their professional trajectory, but how their sense of belonging connects to their professional trajectory. And so that has been so rewarding, not only for me as an ethnographer and an academician, but just to watch the teachers, that watch their faces light up, even during a difficult topic, or having them tell me, "I'm just so glad to be able to talk about this in a space."
right.
Um, we often want to be a part of a larger group, and when I'm working with these teachers, and they've got 40 or 50 other professionals in the building, and they might be one of a few or less than five Black teachers in their space. They haven't been defining belonging by how they connect with their colleagues. They've been defining it by their connection to and purpose work with their students. And
Mm,
so I'm coming up with this theory that kind of moves from Du Bois' double consciousness, and I'm framing it as how Black teachers double dutch. There's this way that they have to both leap and crouch, navigating both race and identity. And
wow.
they struggle being relatable and reliable to their colleagues. And there's a tension between that and being relatable and reliable to their students. They're often at odds with one another. And I'm trying to tease out just how that influences the way that they teach, the way that they see teaching, and the way they see themselves in the profession. If you don't know, we're losing teachers. Um, it's not a slow trickle. This has been exacerbated by the pandemic, but this is not a slow trickle. And teaching and schools, they're probably one of the few industries that have had to get back to normal after a pandemic. They want to catch students up. They've got to, and so coupled with all of the things that are going on, they're rushing back to normal, which is not good for anyone as we still grapple in the wake of a heightened pandemic, and now we're still in it, but at the I would say the tail end of it, I would say. Um, but I'm working with those teachers and giving them space and room and freedom to talk about not only becoming Black, whether it's been in a firm space from Black teachers and family and community, or whether it's been something that has exhausted them by being the only one from, from grade school through college and beyond. We all come to ourselves in very different ways. And so understanding that we're not a monolith, that our experiences are very different, is hopefully going to make room for me to help more Black teachers stay in the profession, and it's going to help me help school districts embrace their Black teachers in ways that they haven't been doing before. And I think that's a dope project that I'm working on right now. I'm very proud of
I agree with you. That is a dope project. I really love that. And as an educator myself, I resonate with that, and especially that analogy of doing double dutch. Like you are literally jumping up and ducking at the exact same time. That's an amazing and a dope project, and I can't wait to hear more about it.
it. Thank you
Um,
so
I also know that you are an entrepreneur. I want to give you a
much. I am.
chance to
Yeah,
to
yeah.
to plug your latest venture.
So please, please do. Please give me this moment. So between academia and entrepreneurship, I think it's because of ADHD that I can't sit still. And so growing a company has been like a really interesting thing for me. So I'm the founder of a vegan snack company. It's called Eat Power Snacks, and we are undergoing, and I won't tell you now, but a name change. We're undergoing a product change, and we're undergoing a few things after this first round, which you're a part of it. You're a major supporter of the first round. I was able to raise $250,000 plus my own investment from all Black investors, which was huge during the pandemic. And in the first year, we eked out this little $7,000 profit, and then we moved to a $70,000 profit, and we thought, man, we could do a lot here. And as we started to share our story with people, and got into places like Whole Foods, Giant Eagle, having some really critical conversations with Delta Airlines, with the Fresh Market, and a few other places like GNC and even REI now. Just excited about what is on the horizon for us. But what I will say is that being able to do this is really been a testament to that momentum I talked about. Thinking about not only getting a product on the shelves, but in people's homes has been not a small task, right? And
Hmm.
being a Black person who I'm not vegan, I have my vegan days, but not only being in the consumer packaged goods space, but being in the vegan space has been really, really an interesting thing because identity politics play a role in what you're doing. People they don't think you should look like me when I'm talking about vegan snacks. We're
Yeah,
soul food people. I grew up with soul food, and we talk about the foods that give us comfort. But I think what we produce will also give people comfort. So it's a vegan snack bar full of good protein. Tastes like the best brownie that you'll never have to feel guilty about eating. And so I look forward to sharing more.
I can vouch for that. It is delicious.
I look forward to sharing more. I have a pack which is shameless, but this is where we are. What we started with. It's called Eat Power Snacks, and wait until you hear about what we're doing next. It's going to be exciting over the next few months. So I'm looking forward to that. And so
I
I'll
can't wait.
keep you posted. I'll keep you posted.
That's awesome. That's really dope. And I'm glad I asked.
Thank
Um,
you so much. I'm glad you. Yeah.
well, we close out the show every episode with a dope moment in history. And today, I want to talk about the first Black person to host a television variety show. This happened back in 1969, and I'm gonna give you a. I'm gonna let you guess to see if you can guess who was that host. First Black person to host a variety show.
Was it Flip Wilson?
Now that would have been my first guess. It
I
is
thought.
not Flip Wilson. First Black person to host a variety show is Della Reese. She had
Wow.
her own. She
Wow.
had her own Della Reese show started in 1969. So I think that that's a dope piece of history, and I now as I learned that I'm like I gotta go catch and see if I can find some episodes of this because Della Reese was a powerhouse. So
She
I'm
was. I make
really
a
interested in finding.
cocktail called Della Reese. This is so not connected, but I make a cocktail called Della Reese. because it's sweet, but it'll kick your butt just like she would. So,
See, and a lot of people know Della from the Pinky Toe, right? But
yeah,
like she had this whole career long before that, and there a lot went on before she got to that moment. But that's what
right.
people know. That's mostly what people know her for. All right. Well, Heck, it has been amazing talking with you. I want to thank you for taking the time. I know you are super busy. You're like a shark. You keep moving. But I enjoyed our conversation. Tell the people where they can find you if they're looking for you.
They can find me at Derric, Derric, Ivan, Ivan, Heck, like what the heck. They can find me there on Instagram, Twitter is all the same, and Facebook's all the same, at Derric Ivan Heck. And I will share later. Hopefully, you'll have this. We'll have a follow up, like you share our new but right now, it's Power Snack on Instagram, but look for us to have a nice
That is awesome. And in the meantime, please like and save this particular podcast, share it with people. And more importantly, if you know somebody who is a dope person that I should be talking to, feel free to send that name on to me and send me their contact, and we'll get them on the show. But until then, Derric, thank you so much. And for the
Thank
rest
you.
of you, go forth and be dope.
Thank you, sir.